I just like it because it's so crazy. It's so barking mad in terms of design, in terms of the driving experience, in terms of how it sounds, like everything about it. There's no sort of compromise. There's no nod towards sanity with the Stratos. Everything is nuts, and I love that. We buy cars that we have a connection to, and I think that growing up in England as a kid, I used to watch rally stuff on TV, and of course the Stratos was a fantastic rally champion, and I think for 2 or 3 years running. I function very much aesthetically in a lot of ways, so I've always loved how it looks, the design of it, and I like the sort of singularity of the design. It was designed for one thing, which is to race and win rallies. So when you open the doors, you see the door pocket is designed to accommodate a crash helmet, which I kind of love. I mean, I love cars that are without compromise, so it's not a particularly relaxing car to drive. Well, half of driving the Stratos is just what happens in my head, which is total and utter terror at all times, because I've lived with so many stories, and every story you ever read about the Lancia Stratos tells you that it's terrifying to drive, it's trying to kill you, it's going to spin around at the drop of a hat. And then, of course, there's driving it, it feels twitchy and it feels very light, but then because I've got this giant sort of mass of terror lurking in the back of my head, I tend to drive it a bit like a granny. So I don't know if it's going to spin around or not, but anyway, I live in terror when I drive it, but in sort of an exhilarating way. The thing about driving the Stratos is that no one really knows, most people don't know what it is. So, well, people actually often ask me if it's a kit car, which I say, yes, it's a Fiero-based car, is my usual answer to that. The Stratos was the kind of car you would have seen in prototype, which have ended up not being made, but it ended up somehow being made, and it's like it's from another planet. It kind of, when you see it driving down the street, particularly in an urban setting or suburban setting, it just seems totally anomalous, and I love the fact that it's so peculiar.